Just the time you get to speak to me. So that commercial break comes now, and when we come back, we talk achieving orderliness at public gatherings. Good afternoon once again, and just stay tuned. Point 3 Nigeria in 4FM. We're talking achieving orderliness at public gatherings. They say that adults are usually more difficult to control than children. You can tell the child, sit here, and the child will sit. But I've seen children that they know they hear word. I've seen children that are pretty stubborn. But then again, you can control this child. You can literally cane the child, beat the child, and, force the child to maintain composure and decorum, sort of. Now, while we may find that statement degrading, saying that it's easier to control adults than children, we can't deny the stories of people who have lost their lives or sustained injuries as a result of lack of orderliness. So, I told you I was going to share something about Asake's concert. He expressed his condolence to the family of Rebecca Ekumelo, a concert goer who died after a crowd crush at the singer's event in London. The concert which held at O2 Academy, Brixton, on Thursday was cancelled midway after fans, many of whom did not have tickets, attempted to gain access into the venue by breaching the doors. 4 people were critically injured and 4 others were also hospitalized. The police and other emergency service providers were called to the O2 Academy in Brixton at 9:35 p.m. following reports that a large number of people were attempting to force entry to the venue. Now, on Saturday, as expressed his condolences to the deceased family, and he had the news that the lady was in critical condition since Thursday and that she had passed away. She was 33 years old, and I heard she had 2 children. Now, it wasn't meant to turn out this way, right? He was supposed to just have a concert. People hold concerts. People have concerts every now and then. A whiskey concert, charity concert, this Christmas concert, this Christmas charity event, this what's this, pageantries, comedy events, you name it, Bole Festival like we had in August. All of these are public gatherings that will definitely bring together a large number of persons. Why does it sometimes go sore and we have people sustaining injuries and even losing their lives? Crusades too are part of it. Yes, I'd like to add crusades to the mix. Now, let us go back to the month of May when scores of persons were, I find it heavy, but fed dead because the particular church in this town were having some sort of charity event where they were giving food items and items for free. And it was not the first time they were doing it. That was the 4th year of having that kind of outreach where they were inviting members of the public to come and receive gift items and free food. Now, the story had it that people came in as at 6 a.m. Saturday, and people were coming in for an event that was meant to start by 9 a.m. Now, problem began when people started forcing their way into the venue so that they could get into the loss of us. So, usually we would say the event planners should have made adequate arrangement for crowd control. The event planners should have people we call bouncers, security personnel on standby for situations where the crowd, as it may seem, have refused to hear word. So maybe when you see the size of the person telling you, don't go there, stay on a queue, do like this, do like that, you are forced to respect yourself. However, even with all of these provisions made, stay on a single file, no. Do like this, no. Where is that noise coming from? The the action. Why? And they are struggling to enter. Hey, what is it? Oh, they cannot see the artist. Oh, this one happens. Oh, that one happens. And this is the season. Trust me, this is the season. It's a season of concerts, events, giveaways, donations. And these activities are known to attract people. Good intentions then turn sour when instructions are not followed. So these instructions, like I said, were meant to maintain orderliness. Hence, I'm asking a question on the sunny side this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, what factors are indeed responsible for inability to achieve orderliness at public gatherings, even with all set in place to ensure crowd control, security, logistics, registrations and all of that? Why does it sometimes seem difficult? And it's not a Nigerian thing. This happened in London. Okay, the one that happened in River State happened. The one that happened in London happened. Sometimes you hear that the crowd, they get angry. They start scattering chairs, breaking chairs, destroying things. As it happened some months ago when a particular artist didn't show up at an event he was meant to show up at. I think that was Kiz Daniel. 070-0923 0923 070-0923 0923. And then WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809 030 6416 0809 030 6416. WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. We're live on Twitter at Nigeria Info PH on Twitter. And then Facebook page is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Remember, I told you that your first person you get in contact with, it will be our call screener. But when that happens, do not be scared. Go ahead and speak to the person. In no time, you will be able to get through here in the studio. Once again, 070-093-2 number 0809-030-6416. Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. I can barely hear you. Could you please speak up?
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Wisdom.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So, listening about concerning the issue and you said something about mentioning Christian gathering, because I think you lead here is about Christian gathering and it doesn't happen, or it always happens in contact of after then.
Yeah, what up? Why is it difficult to maintain orderliness at the gatherings?
Yes, it's difficult. The motive of the people going for that church concert, church event, that is difficult. If you're going to a gospel gathering, Christian gathering, because you hear the word and stop when it comes to the inability for the controlled.
So now, I said we were going to go memory lane for having answer me. What exactly happened was not a crusade, but it was organized by an organization. It was a giveaway, more like a party event. The people knew that they were going to come collect free, even though I don't know if God of God was going to be, but
that's you're correct. Depending on the motive of people going to do that, now their motive is to do what to get higher for.
Okay.
So this is what they to try our best to get those things. There are Christian gatherings where they share food items and see other place where people go to get food items up and give all
No, thank you. Thank you. The question remains, what actors are responsible for the ability to achieve this at pop gathering? This issue, okay, let's see where Katie is coming from. A good afternoon, my work is on you.
Hello, my name is Mr. Promenek. Why have these issues in the gatherings? You mentioned before in the
Not crusade.
event, share free palliatives.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you've heard of a popular event that happens at the. It's called, let me not name the church, but it's tagged Shiloh anyway.
Yeah, I know Shiloh.
Yes, when Shiloh occurs, we have this crowd control unit that effectively does their job in ensuring that people are orderly when coming for such events. And yes, you don't even have reckless moving about. I think this thing more has to do with how the people are managed by the crowd control unit and how the individuals themselves come. For an event, a music concert, you go there to jump and dance and celebrate the artist. But for a Christian event, you go there to hear the word of God, depending on how anointed and close to God the preacher is. But the case here is, how do we prevent such things? The people themselves need to stop having that behavior of rowdiness and craziness. And then we ensure we have a strong crowd control unit at public gatherings, not only in Nigeria, but around the world. There was a restaurant that closed in the U.S. because they stopped selling a favorite snack. And people went ballistic. It was horrible. Imagine if the police had come earlier to that particular event. It would have been curtailed. There would have been destruction of property and injuries that harm people. So it's more about the conduct of people and the amount of men deployed to control the people who are attending this event.
So like I said,
For us here in Nigeria, there's how we handle things sometimes there's really somehow. There are these major ministries, like the one I mentioned, that happen, and yet nobody goes crazy. the same ministry also one time shared this thing different people, and nobody went ballistic as this because it was orderly.
It takes us back to the crowd management, and I'm saying that some of these persons or some of these organizations or some of these organizers of these events actually putting measures. See, I was at a wedding yesterday, a wedding reception, and it was pretty simple. Now the hall was full. And all they needed to do, the hall wasn't full, the chairs were finished. And all they needed to do was go to where they stored the remaining chairs and pick a seat or pick seats and come and arrange for all the people that just arrived to sit. I put it to you that just wait. Let us go. There was a protocol team. You literally could see their tags. Protocol. So the protocol team is, if you need something, please, I need a seat. Okay. Where is the restroom? Okay, come here. Where is this one? Okay, come here. This table never chop. Okay, we'll do something about it. They were there for a reason. Now, just stay one side. Stay put. Let us go and get more seats for you people and arrange them. Problem. Problem. Shouting. So the reception was happening. The couple were dancing, but behind noise, chaos, everything was. And you're like, but there's a protocol team that is meant to handle it. So some organizers have put in some of these measures in place to ensure that there's no rowdiness, everything moves on smoothly. But why? Okay, there was the catering stand, and the protocol person was supposed to move with bridesmaids, as it were, the people that wore their shwebi, to go to each table and drop plates. And it was working for a while though. One protocol person will carry the girls, they will go, they will serve this plate when they were table. When they were done with that table, they go back, get more. And before you knew it, people started gathering the, catering stand. We never chop, we never see food though. But tables had been served. People were getting food. All you needed to do was be patient. There's only a limit to how many plates is time. So you just needed to wait till it gets to your turn or something. Why did you not have to go and gather the caterer and start yelling and shouting and saying, these things have been put in place now. It's not like measures have not been put in place, but what then is the problem?
That is why I'm saying that it all boils down to the people. If the people are orderly, if the people can be patient, which is why we talk about somebody being reasonable, having a certain conduct when I attend events. Like me, when I attend events, I am not too hasty to get food because I'm a regulated person. There's how I live. My life is lived with conduct. It doesn't even have to do because I'm a child of God, but it has to do because I'm a person who is disciplined. People need to be disciplined. People need to be reasonable. They will not keep killing people at public events.
Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say.
All right, thank you. Joy from Choba, welcome to the sunny side. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, so, weighing in on this matter, it's quite difficult to control, especially dealing with adults, like you rightly stated before. But, most times, because they are adults, everybody feels like you can't control me, you can't tell me what to do, and things like that. So people try to behave on their own, feeling like they can do what they want without being controlled. However, there are some measures that can be put in place as well. There's no, like you rightly said with the last caller, even when protocols have been put in place, sometimes it just doesn't go according to plan. But you can reduce these things. I think first of all, before an event, when you plan an event, you need to know the kind of audience that you're inviting.
The kind of audience you're inviting, okay.
Sir?
You said you need to know the kind of audience you're inviting.
Yes, you need to know the audience, the people that are coming.
Okay.
And it depends on the kind of event. I think the first caller stated, most times you don't see things like this happening when it comes to you have not seen. Have you seen? I wanted to respond to that caller, but I held on for a reason. You have not seen some people that are looking for miracle.
You have not seen some people that are desperate for a miracle. Even when Jesus was on earth, remember that woman that pushed through the crowd to touch him?
Absolutely.
Many people were touching him. He did not notice who touched him until that woman said, "Who touched me? Somebody has touched me in this place." You see the crowd following him now, and she had to press and press until she was able to touch the hem of it. So even in some crusades, there are people that go all out and they say, "Today is the day I must collect my miracle." Crowd cannot stop those kind of people, though.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. You're very true. You're very correct for that. But you know, when we look at events of crowd mismanagement and things like this, it's very rare when you see something like this happening in church events or even academic events. You know, because the kind of audience that you're inviting there, what the event entails doesn't need much action like that, especially when it comes to academic events. You just sit down, you are listening, and then when you're done listening, you go back home and something like that. It's now when you now need action, you need to come and queue for something, you need to dance, you need to jump here. That is when you see things like this happening. So when you are setting up an event, you need to know what kind of event it is and the crowd, the kind of people that will be coming for that event. So when you know that the event will need much action, then you know that you need more precautions to put in place there in that kind of situation. And I think when you're able to know the kind of audience that is coming, the venue, the location you pick is also very important.
The location, okay.
Because, yes, the venue is also very important because when you are expecting a large crowd, you don't want to take an event, a venue where you have only maybe one entrance or two entrances, 1 and 2.
Okay.
It's going to be difficult to control crowd there.
Okay.
If you know that the crowd is going to be much, make sure that you have planned on how people are going to move around in the venue. So if the crowd is going to be much, make sure there are enough exits so that people want to go out, they don't have to crowd a particular door, they don't have to crowd a particular place, and things like that. So the venue you select, depending on the kind of event that you are doing, it's also very important as well. Because you need to control how the crowd moves, because they will definitely move. You can't tell them to sit down throughout the whole duration. They will definitely move.
Okay.
So you need to know all of these things. And then, other way now, more hands should be on deck, emergency team, security. And one thing I believe in life is there are two sides to everything. No matter how well you plan, there might be problems. What I do most times is, because I've also worked with an event company as well. That's why I'm saying all of this.
Okay.
You need to plan, if there's going to be a problem, you need to envisage problem that might occur. If you don't pray that it will occur, but you need to, so what if something like this happens, right? This plan, so that when this thing happens, you know, okay, I already have a plan. So also plan for, what's it called? You also need to plan for issues like that. Okay, what if something like this happens? What do I do? And things like that. And like many event companies also do as well. I mean, many was like when people get an do that event center, it's going to cause a lot of rowdiness. And things like that. Like also you mentioned with the last call as well about the wedding you attended, about food or whatever. You know, these are kind of places that people want to go. These sensitive areas, it's best to barricade them.
Barricade them.
So that people or people that do not have that are not authorized cannot access
those places.
So sensitive places, to barricade them and things like that. I think when you do a few of these things, crowd management will be better.
Will be better.
But irrespective of all of these, there are still some people that will still be stubborn. They can't completely.
They will not hear what people.
But at least when you do all of this, it will reduce to the barest minimum.
All right then. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Goddy. Hi, Goddy. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the sunny side.
Yeah. The thing I wanted to say is that it all boils down to location and the people.
Location and the people, okay?
Yes. If you watch, the president had his son's wedding, they a limited number of people. And the location was also created for a limited number of people.
Okay.
So if you are going to invite a large crowd, the bride and the groom, along with the other planners, should make sure the place is large enough. Then put the protocol and the security team on ground, coupled with a very sensible set of of people planning it. There needs to be enough food, and then the people need to be patient, to be coordinated. I know that when you're an adult, some of them feel you can't tell me what to do, but someone has to tell you what to do. And what happens to those things is the kind of location they take people to sometimes is somehow. And to be as if they plan it well, or we didn't expect this amount of crowd, then why did you invite that number of people? So it all boils down to location, planning, and the people.
Location, planning, and the people. Thank you so much, Gadi. Paulinus from Eche, welcome to the sunny side. Go ahead, please.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Go ahead.
So I want to react on the issue on ground.
Go ahead.
Just like you said, human beings are difficult actually to manage. But there are things that we can put in place to checkmate some of these excesses. The point where people always become aggressive, especially when it has to do with distributing maybe gifts, like in the area of reception. Of course, you know that once it is time to distribute food, people become a little bit uncomfortable or impatient. First of all, I would suggest that aside from putting the protocols and the ushers, people should be clearly instructed, giving instructions. If they are meant to, if it is to serve yourself, you get the people to organize themselves. You know, the MC, so to say, should be up to his game at that point by directing the people, give them the right information. If it is coming from a section, maybe you have to direct them to come in a role. You just be very observant and all of that, while the protocol are also doing their work. Because I realize that even when you say food is going on, you notice that even the protocol at some point it looks as if they are becoming partial. You know, and they will be giving some people something.
Okay, Paulinus, I have to let you go now. We need to go on a commercial break. When we come back, you can call back. Okay, so sorry about that. I have to let you go.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
On, but we will be back to round off this conversation before BBC Talk Your Own. Now, I see all of your WhatsApp messages, and I'm going to read them, and maybe I should start with some of them, and then we come back and round off. This one says, crowd control is a big problem in our society. Remember the immigration wahala at Elekaya Stadium some years ago, my brother. Stampede occurred and people died. We also like to jump the queue. SG in Port Harcourt, send that in. And this one says, good afternoon. I think I have an answer. No event is perfect because of the human fact, which is God-given will. I think I may have to read that again to understand. Good afternoon. I think I have an answer. No event is perfect because of the human factor, which is God's given will. Okay, you know what? You may have to explain further so I understand exactly what you're saying. If you're just joining us, don't worry. We'll go on the news break. We'll come back and we'll return to the conversation. But just so you know, we've been talking about achieving orderliness at public gatherings. And I did say something which sounds a bit degrading. You know, oftentimes you hear people say that adults are usually more difficult to control than children. But we can't deny the stories of people who have lost their lives or sustained injuries as a result of lack of orderliness at events. Public gatherings, I like to term one of them as public gatherings. So it's the season. December is the season. A lot of weddings this period, a lot of concerts this period, a lot of events you can possibly think of, giveaways, donations, and these activities are known to attract a large turnout of people. And you don't want your good intention to turn sour when human beings are not following instructions, or the attendees are not following instructions. And these instructions were not meant to insult anybody, but rather to maintain some level of order. Hence the big question, what factors are actually responsible for inability to achieve orderliness at public gatherings? Someone has mentioned the kind of people attending and the venue. Was it the location, he said? Location and the kind of people attending. We'll talk more about that when we come back from the news break. Do stay tuned to us. We are Nigeria Info.
With information comes power.
We give you more power with
your number one station for talk, 90.3 Nigeria Info FM. So very quickly, we'll try to round off the conversation we started at the 12 o'clock hour, achieving orderliness at public gatherings. If you missed out on the beginning, oh well, let me just quickly do a recap of all that has been said so far. Now, I did share 2 stories with you. I can make it more, but then again, it is all aimed at driving home the point, and that is handling human beings better at public gatherings.
On your number one talk station.
Of casualties at this public gatherings. Asake had a concert in London at the O2 Academy, Brixton, on Thursday, but sadly it was cancelled midway after fans, many of whom did not have tickets, attempted to gain access into the venue by breaching the doors. 4 people were critically injured and 4 others are also hospitalized. Now, a concert goer, one of the persons that attended, a 33-year-old mother of 2, Rebecca Ekumelo, died after a crowd crush at the singer's event in London. So this was him sending his condolences to the deceased family and asking for prayers for them, and stating how he was devastated about the news, what happened and everything. I mean, I know nobody sets out to host a concert and expect such things to happen, but in this case, it did happen. I made reference to Kiss Daniel's concert. It was not a Kiss Daniel concert particularly. It was a concert that had Kiss Daniel, as one of the artists. I think he was supposed to be a headliner or something. And it turned out that he didn't show up, or he didn't perform, or he wasn't going to perform because some of his things were stolen. I can't read, or his things were still seized. What. But then again, people had paid for that concert to see Kiss Daniel, and not seeing Kiss Daniel, the next thing they could possibly think of is destroying things at the place. Cheers, anything you can possibly think of that could be destroyed. They destroyed the place. And I'm sure in the process, some persons would have sustained injuries, right? I also made reference to, in the club, Patricia Kingsley set out to have a charity program. It's something they've been doing for years. And that was like an anniversary. They were going to give out items and food. The event was supposed to start on Saturday by 9 a.m. You had people arriving the venue as at until 6 on this Saturday morning. Now, reported put plans. What was happening, mind you. This time, they even went for a bigger venue to accommodate as many persons as possible. And all the people needed to listen, be calm, wait. But no, what did they do? They tried to push open the front gate so they could enter the polo club and occupy a good position. So when they were sharing things, at least they could get. But it was supposed to go round. The things they were going to share, they were meant to go round, right? I mentioned wedding receptions, and wedding receptions you attend, everywhere is rowdy. And you're wondering what is going on here. So far, so good. We've not heard of any casualty or injury sustained at a wedding reception. But you can't rule out the fact that sometimes you just go there and you're like, why are these people not... Why can't they just sit down? Why can't they just be calm? Why can't they just minimize noise? Why can't they just... No, the caller we were talking to before we went on the news break was saying something about, the MC. Okay, so let's say it as an MC that I am, okay? I've had to host several events, and it's not like we don't do our jobs. One of the first things I will usually do is announce the exit points in case there is an emergency. There will be an emergency in case. That's an exit point. That's the convenience. It's there. Some events were nice, so you will find this. You know, bars now, it's opportunity to hear word at least. You see somebody with broad chest telling you, sit down. You still say no. You don't want to hear word. Or you still decide to do what you want to do, even when someone is trying to talk to you or something. So always round the meetings are well planned and organized, and teams are put in place for some of these things that we are currently talking about. We tell them, go row by row. We do. Some ago, I think it was my colleague from the station that wanted to rise, and I was here noise, and I heard, what is going on? I felt it was something that my colleague had announced on you. I'm going to share rice, and he's so specific. Oh, this is what the number of persons or the things he wants to share rice. But difficult. At some point, I think he got angry and said, "Oh, you're sharing again." We had a security man. I sure people can come and be orderly, but no. My own of it, I think it was last year before last year. Oh, since with the facility, come. And so the country, okay, you go say, we don't come, we don't come. You listen to Nigeria, go back. They say, my sister, there's something I'm Nigerian for, and that's why I'm here. So I must be. You know, they listen. I'm here. Like it's true. As part of the organizers of an event, you probably must have experienced such things. So as someone who has convened something, you probably have experienced these things, and I'm sure in your head you're like, Shebi, I planned all these things. Shebi, I did not expect. Shebi, we made arrangements. Shebi, we this. You're asking your team members. Shebi, and at the end of the day, it turns terrible. What is the way forward? Why is it a problem? What factors are responsible for the inability to achieve orderliness in public gatherings? I promise to read your WhatsApp messages, and I'm going to do that right away. Didi, good day. You see this topic, it has so many heads attached to it. But the celebrants have a lot to do via planning events, especially towards welfare. Ibe, Samuel, Ihana, Cho, send that in. Someone else says the main factor that caused lack of orderliness in public gatherings is lack of crowd management. And when this occurs, it leads to death of human beings and loss of properties. From Frank Onyeka in Port Harcourt. Now this other one says, good afternoon, presenter. It is popularly said, charity begins at home. Orderliness is something that is carried from the home to the public. If you don't portray orderliness at home, well, from Connor, Buet Town. There's something called crowd management unit. When such is in place, there will be no cause for worry. Simply goodness from Pitaka. Simply goodness. You are not understanding what I'm saying. I am saying that with all this put in place, crowd management, crowd control units, crowd